Hello, everyone.
Wow.
Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. All right, so it looks like most of us are probably here. Max is going to be taking over. This is going to be his screen that you're watching. I'll let you guys know on the right-hand side, there's a tab that says questions. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and type your question in there, and then we'll get to it as soon as we can. Max is going to try and go through as he goes through the slides, and he'll prompt you and say, hey, if anybody has a question, go ahead and type it in the question section, and then he'll answer them, or I'll say it out loud if he hasn't noticed it yet. But otherwise, if anybody has a question before we start, you can type it in there and I'll answer that as well. This is all going to be recorded, and everyone who registered will be sent this recording at the end, as well as the first 25 people who registered for this event is going to get a book from Max. So he's going to get your information, and then he'll be reaching out to you afterwards. So I'll hand it over to you, Max.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hey, first of all, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because that's crucial. You can't hear me, we got a problem, right? There are going to be a lot of sharing. Hey, Shane, appreciate you. He got a question in here. Let's see what we got. Let's fire it up. Oh, okay. It's like some symbol. I don't understand. I think it means he's happy. I hope so.
He's just raising his hand. He's letting you know he's good.
Thumbs up. Cool.
Yep.
Shane, good with the code. Tom, good to see you. Kristen, man, awesome. Everybody's here. All right. Hey, awesome. The twins, Edwards. We got a lot of people here. Hey, first of all, thank you guys for showing up. We're going to jump right in. We don't want to waste any time. I have some people coming on. You got here first, so we're not going to penalize you. I'm going to start the timer. I want to be real super respectful of your time. I know it's valuable. I did this presentation. Now I've added some slides because I love residential assisted living. If you haven't joined the organization, it's unbelievable. Come to the convention in October, blow your mind. It's just world class all the way, and we're selling out, so you got to act now. Anyways, I did this, it was about 53 minutes, and when I did this presentation yesterday, there was actually more people on at the end than at the beginning, which is like never happened before. Everything was thumbs up, but I want to know what we can do to improve, and I hope you get a lot of value from it. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on here. I think you can see me, and let's just make it happen. Why don't we start with a free gift? I mean, that's always good, right? Okay, I have a systems library. If you know a little bit about me, I'm going to explain it later. I have a YouTube channel, Customers Chasing You. It's on YouTube. Now, don't go look at it now. Today, the only thing I'm asking from y'all, the only thing, I mean, this is it, is just 100% concentration for 60 minutes, please. Phone off, Facebook off, everything closed, just one browser, and we're 100% focused. This is a half-day training that I give to my consulting clients when I consult on marketing, and I just made this the greatest hits. So this is like 53 minutes of the absolute best stuff. I know you're going to learn something, but only if you're 100% focused. So I appreciate that. So let's get the business systems library. I make videos, and what I do with these videos, I don't have a channel where I like people watch for 5 or 10 minutes and then just feel all inspired, and then they get to the end of the day and nothing happened. I don't like that stuff. Okay, I don't like those kind of channels. I want a channel to where you can learn something that's very specific, and then you can download a form, a checklist, a blueprint, and actually install it in your business. That's how you get results. The word of the night is results. Okay, so here's how you get it. Would you like a free copy of the book? Well, the first 25 people who registered are going to get one. Must be present to win. But if you stay till the very end, I'm going to give you a link where you can get a copy. This was my first book. I have 3, and I'll teach you how to add this to your business. So that's it. So here's all you have to do. You may want to take a picture of this. Everybody who's registered is going to get a copy of the presentation. We're going to go fast. So it's going to be hard to write everything down, but taking notes is good. So just text the word free book to 587-317-6099. That's it. Okay. Text that word. It'll ask what email address you want the access code to. We'll send it to you, and then you get just the whole library, all my systems. Okay. That's it. And then stick around till the end, and if you aren't one of the first 25, I want to get a copy of this book into your hands, and we'll do that. All right, let's get going. So who's here? Do we have realtors, investors, anybody who's brand new? We love new people. That's a huge jump. Way to go if you're new. Residential assisted living owner. Maybe you have a property in development. Anybody still working a day job? All right, let's take a look at that. Molly's helping me out tonight, and I really appreciate it. Her and Brian run the organization, and they did a great job. Great collaborative partners, so I really appreciate them. Took a lot of their advice. They really know the audience. They want to serve you. So if you're just plugging in this community for the first night, welcome. We want to help you. Okay.
Hey, Max, can you repeat that number one more time? I'm going to put it in the chat so everybody knows the number.
Yeah, right on, absolutely. Sure, it's 587-317-6099. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that.
There you go. You can move forward now.
Molly's on it. Appreciate you. So by the end of this teaching session, you may decide there's a better way to market your realtor business, your investor business, your residential assisted living facility, and join us on this journey. I'm going to show you a way to do that. And if you get to the end, you decide that what you're doing is great, well, that's good too. It's still an hour well invested, okay? So today I'm going to teach you how to find more motivated sellers or residents. We have a wide range of people. I'm going through the chat here and I'm seeing the backgrounds are all very different. So I want you to just kind of think homogenous tonight. So whether we're a realtor and we're talking about listings or buyer's agents, whether we're investors or we're looking for more residents, that's what we're talking about here, okay? We want to learn how to create a waiting list. Attract and retain the best staff, that's important, but it's going to be woven through the lesson, and it's going to be interactive. Questions are mandatory, okay? If not, I'm going to get out the Goldfinger ejector seat button and you're out. You got to ask some questions, even if you're shy, okay? Here's one of our licensees. They're building a residential assisted living home in St. Louis, and they've been using it to build their influencer network. We had a call today, and they're doing some really creative stuff, and so that's pretty cool. I'll tell you more about that later. But let me just real briefly touch on why I'm here, why we're talking tonight. So 24 months ago, I'm buying homes in Dallas-Fort Worth, and it's going okay. I'm not getting the results that I want. Here's why. I'm running around basically all day. I feel like I'm chasing customers. I'm calling people, I'm following up. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. There's everybody flipping houses in my market, and I feel frustrated. I feel like, I'm a dime a dozen, and I'm just running around all day. It's not a scalable model. So I was like, well, what can I do to fix that? Well, great news. I found a solution, and here it is. Today, I use my book and my workbook to generate leads. So even if you don't do that or ever do that, like I said, you're going to get some ideas tonight. They're going to spur you in that direction. Okay, it's going to just get your wheels thinking a little bit different. Now I have a coffee table follow-up. It's great. I give people a copy of my book. They love it, cherish it. They put it on their coffee table, and then anytime they need help with their house, they call me. I'm not in the junk mail pile anymore. It's beautiful. I used to put bandit signs out all over DFW. Don't tell City of Arlington. And some of my associates did too. Now I don't have to. I have bandit signs in people's living rooms. It's way more effective. I speak all over the U.S. on marketing, speaking tomorrow to Mastermind, and just got back from Washington, D.C. recently. So it's been a great year. I'm really, really feel blessed. So thank you for being here. Once again, thank you for our host. And let's just dump all this content out and jump right in. So who am I? I'm an investor, full-time real estate investor in Dallas-Fort Worth. I own Save Your Home Buyers. I bought and flipped about 125 houses. Still do that today. I've got a workshop next week actually with a group of seniors. So I practice what I preach. I have the show on YouTube, Customers Chasing You. So check that out. Love that. Give it a thumbs up. I've authored 3 books and I speak on marketing, really just creative marketing. Here's a little motivation. We all need that. It's 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, depending on where you are. Don't ever give up. My first 5 children were girls. Wonderful. #GirlDad. Rest in peace, Kobe. And so my first 5 kids were girls. We just had a boy. So don't ever give up, ever. I showed this picture of one of my friend's kids, and she goes, "Is your daughter having a birthday party?" And I didn't understand what she meant. And I looked at the picture. There's so many people there. She thought that they were having a birthday party, but it's actually, I go, no, that's just their family. So there you go. It was a real blessing for this system that I'm going to show you tonight to win Industry Innovation of the Year Award, get to hang out with Robert Kay. If you were at the convention last year, hopefully you got your picture with him, super nice guy. It was really weird. 14 years ago, I remember standing in line to get a copy of his book. And, I fast forward 14 years later, I'm getting the award and he's asking, you know, for a copy of my book. So it's just, you never know what could happen. Actually, he might be on tonight. Let me see. Sometimes he goes by some code name, so I'm gonna have to look at that. All right, cool. Let's check it out. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Pentagon private tour, that was awesome. You know, if you guys are not plugged in to the right network, a good network can really propel your career. So if you're not getting to where you want to be, you're here to try to learn some ways to improve your business. You know, start by obviously working on yourself, and then, you know, the people you associate with. And yeah, this was us at the Senate. We went to like 6 offices, and it was really eye-opening and really interesting how all that works. So all right, so let's jump in. We're right on time. Each one of these is like a segment, and then if we're ahead on time, we'll get some questions woven in. So, you know, Molly's going to help me with those, and you know, let's just jump right in. So what are we going to learn? 5 steps to more deals, more customers. How do we do that? Well, first we're going to talk about improving direct mail, transitional offers, customer service versus sales, big differences there, how to be niche, which I think you guys already know, and then how to become an author. All right, so let's just jump right in. So let's talk about direct mail. Well, direct mail, you know, people say it works great. Some people say it's dead. It just depends, right? But there's a lot of folks right now who are wasting money on direct mail. The response rates are getting lower. If you're in a competitive market, you know what I'm talking about. There's iBuyers that are paying, you know, 85, 90 cents on the dollar for these houses. And these are houses that you're buying if you're an investor, or if you're trying to buy a house in the area to turn into a residential assisted living facility. So what happens when you make a marketing investment and you get no customers? Okay, it's a big problem. So I'm going to show you how to improve that. So these are kind of the breakdown of direct mail. If you're new to direct mail or you're having to start it, there's a list, there's the message, fulfillment. Try not to do it yourself. That's my recommendation there. Obviously, you have to track your direct mail, and then results. Results is the magic word. We want results. These are 3 areas that I think you could probably pull the lever and get the most bang out of: stacking, attacking, and tracking. Now, if you already know what all those are and you're like, Max, I'm already doing that, this is child's play, well then go grab a quick drink and come back for number 2. But most people aren't doing these super effectively. Here's how I can help you do that: stacking. So stacking is when you take multiple lists and you get the best leads from them. So it's about higher quality data, higher quality list source, putting lists together, stacking them on top of each other, and people who show up on multiple lists, or if you're doing like Facebook advertising, people who have you know, multiple interests in common have the best chance of being your customer. Then instead of just sending them 1 piece of mail or 7 pieces of mail that they don't want, junk mail, you don't want to be junk mail, guys. You're better than that. Okay, you give them a lot of choices, not just one, so multiple ways to help solve their problem, and omnipresence. So on the investor side, what that would look like is you send them a postcard or some mail with multiple choices, hopefully 2 calls to action. I'm going to teach you how to do that tonight. And then the next week you're sending them a display ad. You've got their email address and you've uploaded that and created a custom audience. Then 2 weeks later, you're sending some type of maybe ringless voicemail or text messaging if it's legal where you live. We got to follow the law, right? Okay, so but you're everywhere. You're never going anywhere. That's really effective. So get a better list, a smaller list, and then attack it in many more places. And then the last one is tracking. So if you opted in to the number that Molly put in there, and it's and you're going to get access to our systems library. One of them is our marketing scorecard. So if you're spending more than $1 on marketing, you want to do that. Okay. Now, do y'all know what the fastest way is to improve your response rate? Does anybody know? Because some people think, first of all, don't listen to a lot of these people who are the fulfillment houses. They don't know anything. They know how to print, not to do marketing. It's a big difference. You got to know this stuff. I'm going to teach it to you. But it's not magenta over lime green. It's not talking more about yourself. People don't care about that. They just want you to solve their problems. The fastest way, I'm going to go through this and we'll take a couple questions, is using a transitional call to action or a transitional offer. And I didn't know what this was until later in my marketing career. I wish I had, but a transitional call to action comes after the direct call to action. So maybe you've got a residential assisted living home, RAL home, and you're sending some mail out to people in the 5-mile radius. You know, we know 5-mile radius is a magic number, right? And so maybe you say, you know, call our office to get more information or book a tour or something like that. The transitional offer is something that's a less risky path. It gives you the opportunity to start building trust and getting the person to engage with you without it being too much risk for them. Because some people are just flat out not ready to move into your house right now or sell their house to you right now. So what do you have that's no commitment or low commitment? I'm going to show you some examples right now. So there can be how-to videos, right? Not videos about us. People don't care. Okay, but how to solve your customer's problem. Podcasts, webinars. Now, I will say that on the podcast route, just a little caution there. Some people think, oh, it's great. I'm going to make a podcast, and that's going to be all my marketing. I'm famous. The most successful podcasts invest a lot of money promoting and getting attention to their podcast. And it has to be high quality, and there's an art to it, and it's a time investment. So I'm not saying don't do one. I'm just saying consult with people who have successful shows first before you start going that route, because some people are just like making it seem a lot easier than it really is. I've tried it both ways. A book, obviously I'm a little biased, but that's a very, very powerful tool. We have results. Or a free trial of something, but deepen the relationship, and you'll find out that those folks are engaging with you, they're engaging with your brand, and then when they're ready to do something, boom, they already know you. All right, let's have time for a couple of questions here. We're doing great on time. Molly, do you see any questions, or does anybody? Let's see. I'm going to kind of look through them too. Okay. Stephanie said I'm on the app and can't see the responses. Stephanie, can you see the screen okay? Can you hear me okay?
I have actually answered Stephanie. So
cool.
As far as questions for this one, I don't think anybody's asked a question right now, so we can move forward.
All right, cool. Sounds good. So customer service versus sales. All right, so what have we done so far? We've talked about some ways to improve your direct mail, your direct outreach. We've talked about transitional call to actions and how you can start engaging with people. Now let's talk about customer service versus sales. This is totally different. If you try to sell people things, whether it's to sell you their house or, sign up at your facility and they're not ready, they're not going to like that. It's just like really pushy, and it's going to push them away. So do you know the differences? You want to get something to write down. We're going to have some questions I'm going to flash up here in a little bit. I really want you to jot these down because I've only seen them in one place. I had to read like 200 books to find these 5 questions. So instead of you doing all that work, I'm just going to shortcut and save you some time. Okay. Don't write all this down. I just want to show you this. It's from the book Digital Marketing 4.0. I didn't write it, but I'm implementing it. I implemented it immediately, made a huge difference. I really want you to get some value from this. Here's the 2 most important. So aware is when people know who you are. If nobody knows who you are, it doesn't matter how great your facility is or how great your service is. They're never going to, they don't even know who you are. So they got to know that, right? Appeal. Appeal is when you make somebody curious. When you're writing copy, when you're doing some kind of ad, whether it's digital or physical, you're not trying to get them to sign the dotted line. You're just trying to get them curious. And then we go to the ask. And that is where somebody, very important, misunderstood. Let's read through this a little bit. This is when people are curious, they do research on you. They talk to friends and family. They go to social media. They do product reviews online. Contact call center. Okay, try the product out, right? This is like their first engagement with you. So have a way for people to get information from you, but don't make it to where the folks are like feeling like they have to be sold. That's really what I want to highlight there. It seems common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people miss it. All right, number 4 is act. I think you know what it's like when somebody's ready to act and make a decision. But remember this, when let's say that you have a adult child that's put their senior parent at your home. This is where you got to give the senior parent the wow factor, and also the adult children the wow factor. This is when they get to experience what your service is like, what your communication is like. So making big investments in your business here is key. That first 90 days that somebody is with you is the most important time by far. So what are you doing to really put the odds in your favor? And why that is so important is this last one. It's called advocate, right? And what that means is when you have customers that are just so happy with what you've been able to provide them, they are out there they're loyal to you, they're not looking around at other places, and they're posting good online reviews. They're recommending you to their friends. You have to have that, because I can't draw a line on here, but if you don't have people who are your advocates, then how is anybody going to go from stage 3, where they're doing research, to stage 4? The research and the reviews that they're looking up comes from your advocates. So you have to make those. That's key. So just filling up the facility is not enough. You got to provide the wow factor. You do that, people will be singing your praises, and it's going to be a lot easier to get new customers. So don't miss that one. All right. So these are the questions I want you to write down, or just take a picture of it on your phone. I know you're not checking that. You're 100% engaged. I greatly appreciate it. Okay. Aware. So take a customer that you've already had, any business, realtor, investor, RAL. Okay. And just ask the customer, how did they find out about you? Now, most people are pretty good at this one. They have this on forums. How'd you find out about us? Well, that's important, because it's like you're paying money or using time to get awareness. Appeal. What made them curious about you? A lot of times it's not what you think it is. So dial in, don't guess, just ask your customers. They already know the answer to these questions. And then the middle one, ask, what research did they do when considering you? That is crucial, write that down. That is crucial, write that down. Please, everybody do that. Call 5 customers tomorrow and ask them, hey, when you were thinking about using me, what research did you do? And then what you'll find is common themes, common places that they're going. Then you need to go and do the same research on you and see what's coming up. How do you put the odds in your favor? You know, like people in our community, for our book system, we have ways that we can, when people type in their name into Google search, or people type in their business name, we're writing articles, we're doing press releases, and we're putting the odds in our favor that people are going to see something that truly reflects us, not one, you know, angry person that's just like kind of lost their mind. You know what I'm talking about? It happens. Act. How do they make the final decision? That's key. Don't be afraid to ask about the competition. You want to know what the competition is doing. You want to know what's going on. And then the last one, advocate. Do they recommend you? Why or why not? Now be ready for the why not too. You know, we're not just calling the people who are in love with us. It's everybody. You always want to know how you can improve. The most important data that you have in your business, is the answers to these questions from your existing customers, by far. Nothing else is even close. If you study subscription businesses, which I have in a lot of depth, I've talked to people who have huge subscription businesses. Some of them are for the sole purpose of getting this market research, and then they resell it to other companies. This research is key. So just don't go crazy, just ask the questions. All right, we go into number 4. Do you see any questions, Molly?
No questions yet.
All right, hey, what's going on, guys? You like this or what? Give me some love over here. Give me a thumbs up or something. I mean, no questions. What are we doing here? I want to answer your question. Maybe you're just enthralled in the knowledge and you're like, this is great. This is pivotal. Or maybe you tuned out. If you did, let's tune back into number 4, niches. Now, what's the value of being niche? Well, it's a true specialty. Because you guys, I mean, I think everybody in here is feeling the senior niche, right? We know this. That's my niche. I love it. I'll show you why in just a minute. But niches, being in a niche allows you to serve customers at a higher level because you have a deeper knowledge and understanding. This gentleman, who I think is winning a beauty contest for his mustache, I mean, that is quite a mustache there, says the riches are in the niches. So I think that everybody knows that, and everybody that I've met in RAL community, they have a love for seniors and business. So this one I think you get. My favorite, of course, is seniors. This was the first house that I bought with my book system, and it was great. You know, my grandma took care of me. If you get a copy of my book, you read the story in there. And my grandma took care of me for the first 15 years of my life, made sure that, you know, I turned out okay, I guess. I hope so. And last 15 years, I took care of her. So, you know, if you have a special senior in your life, you know what I'm talking about. Seniors are slow to trust, but they're very loyal and appreciative. Not all of them. I know there's a few cranky ones out there. I get it. But they're for the most part appreciative when you help them. They have a lot of needs, and they're not as price sensitive, I've found. So it's just easy to create win-wins when somebody has a lot of problems that they're trying to solve. Because marketing is all about trust, period. No matter what anybody tells you, if you got to leave with that. Marketing is about trust. How are you going to get people who engage with your business to trust you? Okay, that's the magic question. If you figure out how to do that, you'll get whatever you want. It'll be gold just like that chain. So let's review 1 through 4 and take a quick little survey, a little vote here. So direct mail, we're going to stack the lists. We're going to attack it with omnipresence, so multiple touches, and we're going to track every dollar spent. Transitional call to action, if that's new, you can start implementing that today. So for people who are not ready to sell yet, customer service versus sales, do we have a path to where somebody can get information? And then what happens to, put that person on the sales path? What indicator are they going to give us, right? Where's that switch? Another thing I forgot to throw out is usually it's 2 different people. Some of the worst customer service you can get is from an impatient salesperson. And, vice versa. Some of the worst sales is from an incredible customer service person. Well, Max, I disagree with you. I think I can do both. Well, I'm looking for some questions on the chat room, so I'm going to stir up a little controversy. That's how we roll. Animal print pants out of control? No, guys, we're focused on number 4, which is niche, deeper knowledge. So you have all those. So have you guys learned anything so far? Be honest. Be honest. You can put it in the chat or on a question. Oh, we got a thumbs up and a yes.
I see a yes.
What up? Okay, Becky. I think I know Becky. Cool. Becky, did I see you at RAL? Your name's familiar. Yeah. You're from where is it? Nevada, Reno. Is that it? I don't know. It might be somebody else. I met like 800 people, but I think that's who it is. Okay, cool. Yes, I did it right. Yay. I want to thank my mom for that memory. Praise the Lord. It really helps. All right, guys, I'm going to show you number 5. This strategy. Yes, go ahead.
Nicole and Ron have a question. Can you elaborate on what niche is in the senior market?
Well, it is.
What your niche is in the senior market?
Well, mine is seniors, right? So like I could buy homes. I'm an investor and recently a realtor. Okay, so I could work with a lot of different folks. My niche is just working with seniors. Most of my customers are seniors. So a niche can be any sort of segmentation. And there's niches obviously within seniors, like within residential assisted living. Some people are focused more on memory care. And then some people are doing, larger facilities. So, but that's what it is for me. It's just most of my motivated sellers are folks that are seniors. That's it. Any other questions? Whew, you caught me at a good time. It's about to go off. I'm getting fired up here. So this strategy I'm going to show you is more powerful than the first 4 added together times 10x. That guy, I don't know, it's hot and cold like Katy Perry. I kind of like Grant Cardone. I was listening to one of his videos today, and then sometimes it's a little bit of a potty mouth, but I'm not going to judge. Number 5, authorship. Authorship is an absolute superpower. Do we have anybody that's an author here on the call? Anybody? If you do, let us know what it is. We want to hear about it. I'll pause. Once in a while, I get air. Not all the time. I stock up before we start. So authorship, I had no idea this was going to happen, guys, but it is the number 1 way to change the results in any business that you have is to change your customers' perception of you in their mind. I haven't found a better way to do this than to become an author. So what do you think has more power, a book or a brochure? A workbook or a yellow letter or a business card? Have you ever given somebody your business card and then they threw it away? Have you ever lost somebody's business card? Yeah, happens all the time. So let's get rid of those. So here's the 3 superpowers of becoming an author. It's authority, expertise, and celebrity. Well, Max, I don't have a big ego. I'm not worried about celebrity. Man, I totally get it. I'm going to show you how to use this to propel your business. I'm going to give you some real examples. We're going to do some case studies here in just a minute. So what's cool about authority is you have the power to prescribe, not sell. When you're viewed as an authority, once again, doesn't matter what you think, it's the customer, right? When the customer sees you as a true authority, you don't have to talk them into anything. I used to go to people's houses and I'd buy their homes and I'd tell them what the value is going to be when the house was fixed up, and they would argue with me. They're like, oh, that's crazy talk. My neighbor, Jean Marie, and 14 other middle names told me that it's worth at least 300. I'm like, well, Jean Marie doesn't know anything. But, I couldn't say that. That's not nice. And so I just have to go over everything and try to do everything logical. But now that I'm an author, I don't have to do any of that stuff. Matter of fact, people like it's almost, I could tell it's like awkward when they're like questioning anything I say. And I'm like, no, you can ask me questions. You don't have to agree with me all the time. But it really happens, guys. It's unbelievable. It's so much better because you are the expert. You really know what's best. So it cuts through a lot of that. So what's expertise? I never really understood the difference. I mean, they sound the same. I think the word authority has the word author in it. You know, I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure. Expert, deep knowledge. It's a very powerful statement. People call me all the time. They call our office, they talk to Kate, and they say, hey, I want Max or Ryan, who helps us buy houses, to come and take a look at our house. And they say, okay, do you have a copy of Max's book yet? And they're like, oh, his book. And they're like, yeah, Max wrote the book on senior housing. You know, it's a very powerful statement, right? You can go get it online, or we can send you a copy for free. And what's cool about a book is that your clients will distribute your book when you're not around. And so you've got all these books out there circulating, and people are investing 6-7 hours reading it, getting to know you. It sounds like a transitional call to action to me. And they get to know you without you having to be there. So it's really duplicatable. You know, we're paying like $4.50 for these author copies, which is cheaper than we used to mail, you know, 7 yellow letters to them that got mixed up in the junk mail. Now we're on the coffee table, way better. Okay, celebrity. There's our celebrity again. I just love this picture. I'm jealous because I can't grow facial hair like him. The simple truth is that if you aren't deliberately, systematically, methodically, there's a lot of LYs here, establishing yourself as a celebrity, at least to your clientele and target market, you're asleep at the wheel. This is a valuable, measurable asset. I mean, I think LeBron James gets paid $1 million to go speak at, you know, Amazon's shareholders meeting, right? I mean, he uses Amazon, but it's not his expertise in e-commerce that got him the gig. It's his celebrity status. And becoming an author, I mean, I'm not saying people are going to like start carrying you around. You're still going to have to walk on your own, but it is a really, really big deal. And it's not hard to do. I'm going to show you all the different ways, okay? Because people act irrationally around celebrities. They give them like a lot of extra space. It's just weird what happens. They start sweating. It's just, I don't know, it's a very strange thing. I guess it happens to me too, right? So photos and book signings, it's like when I go over to somebody's house, I'm not selling them something. They're not calling other people. We're doing a book signing. This was a workshop that I did, a picture of that at a senior center in my area. I'm doing one next week, and it's great. So one thing that we do is when people call us and they say, yeah, you know, I want you to come over in a couple days. We say, okay, we're going to send you a copy of the book, read it, read at least chapter 3. And then, you know, if you don't want to sell your house, then just call us and we won't come over. And what happens is they end up reading the whole thing. They really kind of get to know me, my story. So when I show up, or my partner Ryan shows up, you know, they've already invested a lot of time with us. They already trust us. They already told the other people that they called, if they made that mistake, that they don't need them to come over anymore. And they stop calling other people. So when I show up, I just get my Sharpie out. You know, we do some book signings. I bring some extra copies for their friends or neighbors, and you know, buy their house. And I mean, it's pretty much done deal. It's really awesome. And it's so different than what it was like. All right, here's a case study, and we're right on time. Do we have any questions, Miss Molly?
Yep. Jim has a question. He says, how can you have authority without having a direct practical experience?
Can't. So that's a great point. So becoming, like, you can't become an author, and so there's 2 kinds of books, right? There's books that is like, it's in your voice. Then there's books about you. Here's the thing about becoming an authority. Authority in what? So people, I mean, everybody on this call has an expertise in something. About 90% of the benefit, I have a friend, I'm not going to name names, but he goes around the country and he puts together big apartment deals. And everywhere that he speaks, he says he's a published author. And it's true, but it's not a book on real estate. It's a book on agriculture. Nothing wrong. We love agriculture, right? We got to eat. But about 90% of the benefit of being an author is being an author of any book about anything. I would say 95%, you know, when we're talking about real estate and seniors right now, about 95% is just a real estate book. And then 100% would be a real estate book with seniors. So having a book that's about something you do have expertise on, then that's what you're an authority over. But yeah, just coming up with a book doesn't make you an authority. And it's a title that we don't put on ourselves, our customers use. So thanks for that question. So here's a case study. Now look, take this information and apply it to whatever marketing system you have. There's a lot of nuggets in here that I really, really believe that you can use. And we're doing good in this segment. So I'm going to show you what we do. So our local experts co-author our book. These are folks that are already in love with seniors. They've been doing real estate. They have experience. They just don't have the book. They don't have the workbook. They don't have the system. And so we plug them into it. And this book teaches seniors and their adult children what's on their mind. And here's a couple pictures. Obviously, there's some folks here from the RAL Academy. They might be on the call tonight. And the books are beautiful. This is the business card that nobody will throw away. Jana, she's got one facility, one on the way. Sounds like kids. Deidre's got a memory care facility coming up in Connecticut. So these are the marketing materials for these folks. I was just with Greg. We did a workshop for 30 people in Orlando. Chick-fil-A donated all the food, which is amazing because it was a for-profit meeting to just meet with sellers. But instead of meeting with 30 individually at their house, they all came to our office. We did a workshop and it was amazing. You can check me out on Facebook and watch the video, the recap video. I mean, we got like 7 video testimonials, so it was amazing. All right, so inside the book is the ways to sell your home, pros and cons to each, ways to stay in your home, types of senior housing choices, how to pay for it, and then special challenges for family members and how to deal with that. I was a teacher for 7 years before I got into real estate. So of course I had to write a workbook. Everybody needs that. It's basically the same stuff in the book. It just breaks it out and it allows us to have a workshop. And that's where we're able to aggregate a lot of people. That's where our residential assisted living folks have now, instead of open house with cookies, please move into our house. Otherwise we're gonna have to overpay a referral agency. No. That's ancient history. Now we're reaching out to community members. We're filling the homes up with a monthly workshop and all of our prospective residents show up. I'll show you pictures, okay? So what are the outcomes when you market your business like this? Well, education leads to better outcomes, period. So educating your customer really positions you as the person who is on their side, and that's who they want to work with. And I like books because they're doing stuff when I'm not even there. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of books out there. The only kind of books that I write are lead generation books. I'm not writing poetry. I'm not writing books that, talk about the time you fell in a well and got rescued. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, this is very simple. What's my customer's biggest problems? What are the solutions? We reverse engineer that. We point some of the solutions to you, and then some of them to people that you can connect them to. Because people are not going to throw away your book. It's just sticky. It doesn't go anywhere. So in less than 30 days, we take our master copy of our book and our workbook and we customize it. We write everybody's individual stories, their experience, what they do and don't do in the community, their contact info. And we create these high quality books and workbooks and then teach people, because one thing to get a book, guys, and there's great book programs out there. Do what you want to do. We're not putting anybody down. We just know what we have and it's great. And here's why. Because I know so many people who have invested money in ghostwriters. It's like a big scam. They have no book. 5 figures, they have no book. That's what they've spent. Then there's folks who write themselves into a co-authored book about a time they overcame their biggest obstacle. Nothing wrong with that book. And in some situations, it's great. It's just hard to aggregate deal flow with that because it's about a topic the seniors don't care about as much as you would think, okay? So those are some differences, and in 30 days they get their proof, they approve them, and then we send them out their books. But we have a system on how to use it to generate leads. There you go. So here's some advantages. Our customers ask me and our local experts if they can work with them, if they qualify to work with us. If you watch daytime TV, on all the ads they say, to see if you qualify. If you're not using to see if you qualify in your marketing right now, you're missing out on a huge, huge word, because to see if you qualify resonates with seniors. That's why it's on every single daytime commercial. I used to watch a lot of Price is Right at Grandma's house. And so when somebody told me that, who's very wise, I go, oh, I get that. Here's a call rail. I do not try to act like I know everything. I don't. I don't do everything perfectly. This young lady called me twice, and the first 2 times it was voicemail. And then when I finally did speak with her, it was 36 minutes. And I'm not going to play the recording, but basically she calls me up. She said, I heard you speak at a community center. We were listening to you during the presentation very closely. You signed my book, and we want to see if our house qualifies, if we can basically work with you. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like it sounded too good to be true. And I just kept getting calls like this. It is way better than, hey, Max, leave your family at dinner, run over to our house right now because we have something that you want. And there's going to be 10 other investors, and whoever gives us the highest offer gets the lucky lottery of a skinny flip deal. No, we're not doing that, guys. We reverse the whole thing. So number two is the number one way to make money with the book is not to sell it. It's to get new customers, especially in our space, guys. I mean, if you have a customer that you charge $5,000 for and they're with you for 20 months, that's $100,000. So what kind of investments are you making to get a $100,000 customer? Most companies spend 20% of their total top line revenue on marketing. So it's like, we are in a really great spot here. This is a gentleman who's my mechanic. He called me, he said, my mom fell down. I don't know what to do about the house. This is a case study. He knew that I bought houses, but he didn't know that I was an author. And I said, well, have you gotten a copy of the book yet? He said, no. I sent it to him. And he said, Max, like, we're going through exactly what's in your book. He's like, it's like you're reading my mind. And I'm like, well, I kind of was, because you know how it is. There's so many situations. I bought hundreds of houses from seniors. I've been in maybe almost 1,000. I've been around seniors my whole life. It's a lot of common themes. He said that an investor had called his mom, illegally skip traced it, all the stuff they teach at the boot camps with the cool people. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't like it. And they called the mom at the nursing home, kind of scared her, can you help us? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I went to the house, I made an offer. There wasn't, there's nobody else around. Why would they call anybody else? They trust me. Marketing is all about trust. I'm the authority. I'm the expert. I wrote the book on it, right? So I bought the house, we closed on it, we flipped it, and it was very successful. We bought it for $95,000. The rehab was supposed to be 40, but I mean, let's be honest, it went a little over. So we were at like 50. So 145 before holding costs. We sold it for 210. It's not a home run deal, but it's pretty good. Pretty good for DFW. Y'all ready to get a free book? Stay tuned. We're wrapping this thing up. And here's Patricia. I love seniors. I went to the rehab facility. She had a bad hip, but a sharp mind. She was a nurse. And she was just really happy that we could help her, and I was too. So now let me ask you guys a question. This is a smart group, and everybody's staying on. Is Dean going to refer her son-in-law? Do you think he's going to refer other people to me? See, when people bring their car to him, they don't just bring car problems. They bring all the problems. They all show up. And so he's like the counselor for our community. And so he's got a big stack of books. And anytime he hears the word senior or housing, he goes, you got to talk to Max. He helped our family out. He can help you too. And when you get that third party endorsement and they're reading your book for 7 hours and you show up, there's no competition. Here's number 3 case study is the real reason people go, oh, referrals. Referrals are the best thing. Yeah, they are. But here's the reason you're not getting as many as you'd like. Number 1 is sales pressure. People are like just worried about like getting a good deal for themselves before they can think about like, referring somebody else to you. And prospecting is hard without a book. It's a lot easier with a book. But sales conversations are not natural for most of your customers. So here's what we do with the book. It's not about sales, it's about teaching, it's about educating. When somebody wants to share your information, they say, I know an author. He signed my book. I'm going to give you a copy of it. And they share the book, they invite people to your class, they invite people to your website. There's lots of good things about you. It's just like, it's a really different way to market. I'll show you an example. I called a church and I gave them a copy of my materials. And I said, I want to teach a workshop in your community. They loved the idea, said there was a huge need. They printed out 4,000. This is a template that we give everybody in our program. And all you do is just change the date and the time. So I printed it out, sent it to them in a PDF. They printed out 4,000 of these, ran it in 2 weeks of their bulletin. They paid for it. They did all the promotion. I just showed up. There was 3 workshops, as you can see, full of people, and I got 4 customers. And I wasn't even monetizing them a lot of different ways. It was pretty much just cash, and then I'd flip the realtor ones to my realtor. There's so many new opportunities that came out of this. I can't even tell you about all of them, but yeah, it's just great. Like, and this is how you can create a waiting list. So if you have a facility right now and you're paying referral fees, first month's rent, they're sending you people that are struggling and they're not lasting, as long as we would like. We want, our facility to be full. I mean, how much are you guys spending in referral fees? And I give Isabel the credit for this. I didn't know this stuff. When I showed her the book, she said, oh yeah, deal flow and all that, that's really cool. A lot of our people in our community are investors or realtors. But where the real value is not, having to pay referral fees. We have one gentleman in our community, Ray, he's creating a referral agency just using chapter 6 in our book and workbook. I didn't even know what that was until I started. It was actually the workshop right after this one, what this picture's up here. These two ladies came up to us and said, hey, we don't have a house to sell, but we need help finding somewhere to live. Like, I didn't even know this existed, to be honest with you. I didn't know. And so I said, well, I got some places, I know some places around, and I helped them find those places, connected them. And I remember the head person was like, okay, do you have like an agreement on file with us? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, yeah, I mean, are you do you have an agreement with us? And she was going to pay a referral fee. You have to check the rules in all of your states, but you can get a referral fee. Some you have to have a license, some you don't. Some it's a flat fee, some it's a percent, but yeah, referrals business is a big business. Okay. But when you have these people and you give them something that's truly valuable, they're all out singing your praises. Remember the number 3, we got to have advocates. Do you think these people are out advocating for me? Yeah. So I get all these random calls, people who, need me to help them. And let me define help. It's not always selling them stuff. Sometimes it's just the most value that you can give somebody is to connect them. And here's another interesting thing. I don't know if you can see the mouse, but on the back row, there's a gentleman on the back right sitting next to the 2 older ladies or the 3 older ladies. He came up to me and said, I've got $100,000. Can you put it to work? Because I just like casually mentioned that. And so we did that. He invested in our deals, and it was 6%. I mean, who doesn't need private money, right? So there's a lot of little intangibles. I can't really mention them all, but you'd be surprised what could come out of it. So here's our process. It's real simple. We give the book to the pastor. He loves it. We take our template. We set up a workshop, and then we go speak in front of a lot of people, because it was taking me a lot of time to go meet with customers one-on-one. So now I just do a sales call with 30 people instead of 1 at a time. And I'm in a much different position. I'm not the salesperson. Okay, I'm the expert. I'm the authority. We're doing a book signing. Oh gosh, this guy, will he stop? Look, it's not ego. I'm just telling you what people are saying to me. It's just the facts, and it's great. And as long as you serve people at a high level, there's nothing wrong with it. We started, our first customer from direct mail was using the transitional call to action. We practice what we preach. This is the template that we've designed for all of our members. And they just say, hey, you can get a copy of our book online, or we'll send you one for free. I sent it to this lady in Haltom City, Texas. And we called her 2 weeks later. When we send out books, we tell people, hey, the author Max is going to give you a call in a couple weeks to get your feedback, not call you in 2 weeks to say, when are you going to hurry up and sell him the house so he can make some money? Okay, so it's way better. And it holds them accountable to read it. So I called the lady who got our book, said, what'd you think of the book? And she said, I really liked it. I've got everything pretty tight, so I don't really need your help, but I gave it to my neighbor. She's gonna call you, and you can see her walker there in the background. That's her daughter. And we ended up helping that family. So it was pretty cool. Okay. So I'm gonna show you how to get involved in our program. If you choose to, it's totally your choice. But I mean, obviously couldn't go into everything. I don't know how you could. If you guys got value from this, it's not over. But if you got value from this, I'm going to show you how to get a free book here at the end. Let Molly and Isabel know they're the boss, and maybe if we get good numbers and people like this, we can come back and go into like one of these 5 a little bit deeper. I can't come up here and talk about a lot of random stuff. This is what I'm focused on, is creative marketing. It's very valuable. Just think about what it would be like. I'm just going to skip to the 3rd one down. Okay, not having to pay one less referral fee per month or per year, or starting to receive referral fees like that. It's really there. Folks need your help. And if you know how to get people aware and curious and trusting you, you can do a lot of things. So whether you get involved in our system or another, here's my advice. Please, 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 just as like, if you're my brother and sister, okay, you're my RAL brother and sister, just get involved with books. Books are so powerful. Other than prayer, I haven't found anything more valuable. So please, please get involved with books. What are the choices? Well, you can do nothing and not doing and do books. That'd be a big mistake. Okay, but you'd have to decide that, not me. You could write your own book, and I encourage you to do that. If you opted into our library, we have some templates. It's the same templates I use to write books. I give them to you. I'm encouraging you to do that. Most people who offer products or services don't encourage you to create your own. I am. Okay, you can do it. It took me about 200 hours to write my first book. You know, y'all are pretty smart. Hopefully, it'll only take you 199. Okay, get the secrets and the proven advantages, but do something. Take action, even if it's just a booklet. Get involved in books. They're powerful. So here's how they become powerful. You have to have a system. If you get a book, I have too many friends. They ordered a book, they got involved in some book program, but nobody taught them how to use it. So it's just sitting at their house. And I go, hey, what's that book over there? They're like, oh yeah, I got this book, you know, it's $5,000. I was with a bunch of other authors. And I'm like, well, what are you doing with it? And they're like, well, you know, I gave it out to everybody at Christmas and that's pretty much it. I'm like, ouch, you know, so like that's how I got the idea of this, was like, what can I do to like really put the odds in your favor? And what's the most valuable part? And it's not ego building, it's getting new customers. So how do we do that? Well, we have training. So the stuff that I talked about tonight, but in a lot deeper details, all in our member portal. So if you choose to join us, get on this journey with us tonight, this is what it looks like, okay? We have videos on these topics. There's a lot of those. We have member calls every week. We just had one today at 2, and it was powerful. We have heavy hitters on there. People have a lot of experience. I don't have to do that much talking. I'll let them talk. Did he just say that? Is that possible? Yes, I let other people talk. I promise. Very smart people. We have one gentleman that's wife's a probate attorney. So when people want to know about how to reach out to probate attorneys, we let him talk. We were talking about today we were talking about, I wish you guys were on the call. You could be starting tomorrow. We were talking about how to use this website to find performing residential assisted living facilities, and how 2 people in our group have used it to find those. I had never heard of this website before. It's like, you know, everybody's heard of LoopNet. This is like the next level above that. It's amazing. You know, I just learn every time. Here's some bonuses. I've never given away my hiring system before. It took me 4 years. I mean, I used to be a straight commission recruiter. I've hired hundreds of people. I've interviewed thousands. For 2 years, that's all I did was interview like 15 people a week. I finally figured out how to hire, and it's so powerful. So I have a hiring system. I was going to sell it, but I just decided to give it to my members. And so anybody who signs up with us tonight, I have some training here that I can share with you. So just know that, you know, you're getting that if you take action. So let me just show you the 3 packages, and they're new. If you saw us speak in October, we're always leveling up, and it's real simple. Here's how we level up every time. We send out a survey to our members every week, and we find out what they need help with and what they're struggling with. And then we bring in the right people to create those solutions. That feedback is key. And that was the questions that we taught on number 3 today. So the customer attraction package goes like this. We take the book and the workbook that I have, and we just personalize it. We put compliments of your name and logo on it. So it's not a co-authored book, but it's easier to get into. So you get the home to home, we customize it, we put your contact info inside the book. The wholesale book pricing, we charge cost. This is not like some sort of book club. Remember BMG or Columbia House, the CD club? Anybody remember that? I'm dating myself, right? Isabel and Molly are so young, they're like, I have no idea. What is a CD? Okay, so this is not a book club. We're not trying to we're getting the books out to you as cheap as possible because we're trying to reach 1 million seniors and their adult children. And with the help of a lot of experts all over the country, we're probably going to hit that goal in 2 years, which feels amazing. So you get to buy the books at cost. You get access to our marketing training video library, our inner circle calls, marketing. I mean, business happens every week, so should marketing. So every week, our members, our authors, and their staff, anybody who's in charge of the marketing gets on the call, and we do the training, and we mastermind with these folks together. It's incredible. We have accountability at the beginning of the week. We send everybody a form, and it's what are you struggling with? What are your challenges? What do you need help with? And I read all of those. Okay, I'm very vested in this community. So who is this for? It's for people starting out with book marketing. Maybe you're on a tight budget, you're a new investor. What's the total value? You know, I love all these, they always end in a 9 and a 7. What is that? Well, here's the total value, a lot. I don't know, it depends on your business. But what's the value of getting one more customer? It's a lot. For tonight, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer this program for $29.97 and then $67 a month. You can stay in our program for as long as you want. If you're not getting the value, you can leave. I'll be honest, we've never had anybody leave. All we hear, and I can give you names. I'll show you the names. You can call these people up. Remember, who's the most valuable person? Your advocates. From the second I wake up till the moment I go to bed, I'm figuring out how I can get more advocates in my business and pouring in and delivering the value. And when you do that in your business, you will get results. I promise you that. I hear all the time, Max, you're over delivering. You're over delivering on the value. Right. That's by design. I'm doing that on purpose because I really, really want this to work. I sold my interest in another company that was a golden goose. It was laying golden eggs. So I could invest more time in this because this is not in our space. And I love doing this. I love taking folks that are exceptional, wonderful people that have a great business mind and a desire to serve their community and really elevating them so they're not getting mixed up with just the other folks that aren't at their level. That's what I love. Okay. Let me show you the local expert package. This is your opportunity to co-author 2 books. Here's Greg's book. We just did the workshop in Orlando. It went amazing. And you can have 2 books. You get the proof in less than 30 days. That's fast. You know, this is a lot of velocity. So 2 books, less than 30 days. You get a wholesale book pricing, the cost pricing for the book. Same thing for the workbook. You get workshop certified. So I teach you how to do these workshops. It's easy. Well, Max, I don't like to talk to people. Well, believe me, these people are dying for this curriculum. Not everybody has estate planning attorneys. Not everybody has, you know, CPAs on speed dial, like, you know, maybe a lot of the people here on this call do. Okay, our customers, a lot of them are struggling. They need help. And this is just a really easy way to deliver a lot of value fast. Marketing, training, video library, I already talked about that. The weekly marketing calls, I mean, that's crucial. You get the training on the marketing, but your staff does too. Okay. So who's this for? This is for somebody with experience. This is for somebody like Greg. He's building a 96-bed assisted living facility outside of Orlando on a lake. We went and toured it. It was awesome. We did the workshop together. Now they know exactly what to do. It's for folks who have always wanted to be an author. You know, they want everybody in the community to know that this is where your expertise, you know, lies. And it's a book that your team can use too. So if you're not a lone ranger and you have other people, they can use this too. I'll show you some examples. Now, I have a limited number per area, and this is not a gimmick. Like, we have multiple areas that are already sold out. We have a waiting list. How do I know how to create a waiting list? Because I have one, okay? And if somebody leaves our program in that area, I have a waiting list. But I only allow a certain number of people per area. So, you know, if you want to do this, it's totally up to you. There's 100% no pressure. You know, we can go to the convention in October and you don't have to avoid my booth and say, oh, you know, he's mad I didn't buy it. Guys, I'm here to serve you, okay? Just flat out. But I just don't want it to be where you're like, yeah, I was interested, you know, but then somebody else like grabbed your area. Because once it's gone, I can't get it back. I can't create more. I'm not going to be like Subway. This is not like anybody who strokes a check I let in. You guys have to qualify. I don't put my name. If you notice, it's Greg's name and my name. I can't. This is a powerful tool. You can do a lot of good with it for your business and your community, but you could do a lot of destruction too. So we have to put it in the right hands, okay? It's normally $10,000. I'm offering this to the community for $59.97. That's not one book, it's 2, and being access to a weekly community of other professionals that are using this for lead generation. And $97 a month, you can leave whenever you want, okay? And I appreciate everybody who stayed on to this point. I'm going to give you a link on how to get a copy of the book. Let me show you our latest one. Drum roll. Da, 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 da. Remember Christmas Vacation? But this time, the little lights, they are going to be blinking. And here it is right here. You're going to be blinking when you see this. I can't believe it. I'm so happy to show this to y'all. This has just been like a dream come true. So we have our new package is Expert Marketing and Recognition Package. Here's what it looks like. It's everything in the local expert package, plus you get a choice of a custom cover. We get your book to best-selling author status. So now when you're telling people you're not just an author, you're not just an author of multiple books, you're the author of 3 books, and one of them is bestseller. And what's great about that is when you become a best-selling author for one book, you are forever for all your books. So then we take that bestseller status. Our team has done hundreds of these campaigns. We know how to do the promotion, how to do it correct. And that Crystal Desk award, that goes right there on your desk. And so you're a best-selling author from here on out. On every book that you do, that goes on there. So it's a really, really cool opportunity. We release one every quarter. We take 10 of the people who are in this program. We take the content from your book. which by the way, it only takes like an hour of your time to customize this book. We have it down to a really good process. We put that into a co-author book and then use our promotional efforts and get it to best-selling status. So we also host a landing page for you, like the one that you see there. So you can direct people to that and they can call to get a free copy of the book, or they can purchase it. Just like what we talked about, direct call to action and transitional. The value of this is a lot. It's normally $13,000, and we're offering this evening. This 100% will go up by the convention. It will be quite a bit more. I actually thought this was a typo when I first typed it, and I called my partner, but we're going to go with this. It's $89.97 plus $147 a month. You can cancel anytime that you're not getting the value. So that's 3 books, best-selling author, and a landing page, and a whole system, and a weekly community. So I don't know if you see the value. Some people spend that on dry cleaning per year, and we're going to spend that to get you more customers. Okay. So guys, once again, the prices are for tonight. I cannot guarantee. If you've seen these before, they have gone up. The biggest thing is just a limited number of people. I just can't create more areas. So if this is something you're even remotely interested in, I'll show you how to figure out if it's for you. It may not be. It may not be for right now, or it may be. The choice is yours. Okay. Here's what Mike Fisher is saying. It's been a complete game changer for him and his business, allowing him to dominate a niche that nobody really knows about or talks about. Well, we do. We know about seniors. We know that it's an amazing niche, but folks are kind of unsure on how to do this. If you know Deidre, she's opening up her memory care facility in Connecticut. This is from one of her customers. Now when people are going online, this is what they're seeing about her. I've been stressed out about how to pay for my parents' senior living care. I learned a lot from the chapter that covered what Medicare covered and did not cover. Good book. Well, thank you. I enjoyed writing that. Okay. I hand out my business card everywhere. This book is my new business card. And I love this one. Don put his father-in-law on it. He's in assisted care right now. I thought that's just the cutest cover of all time. And here's Don and his wife, Anne-Marie, passing this out to the folks at the title company. And here's what's great is all those ladies who are holding the book, they have adult parents. Anytime somebody comes, oh, fire drill. Anytime somebody comes to the title company and they say the word seniors or housing, guess who's going to pop in their mind? Don and the stack of books that they have, and they're going to give it to them. Boom. Here's Ray. He's in the local newspaper. Things open up when you become an author. Local radio, newspaper. We know how to get you on these things. We teach it in our classes, and it's in our community. You know, stand out. Let everybody know who you are. You guys are doing amazing things. Okay, so here's my money back guarantee. I'm really serious about this. This is not like the ShamWow guy. Okay, I will stay with you one-on-one until you get your money back, until you get a customer with this. You have my cell phone number. And if Molly and Isabel know, I don't give my cell phone number out to a lot of people. I travel, I'm working, I'm very busy, I'm buying houses, but that's like how tight and connected I am with the community. So you got one-to-one with me, plus you're on the weekly calls, okay? Here's Mo, he's out in Richmond. We all know about the silver tsunami. If you're not registered for the convention yet, oh my gosh, guys, you got to get that before it sells out. I learned so much from the speakers. It was unbelievable. But here's a book he did, and it's got his Fresh Start logo. So if you have other people on your team that are helping you, this is a way that you can really call out your company brand, and you can let them, them see that too. And they can pass it out and say, hey, our owner wrote this book on senior housing. This is what we want to share. So these are the packages. I think that y'all all get that. Once again, it's a limited number of per area. So here's what I'm going to do. In the chat, I'm going to put a link. Okay. Here's my email address. I'm going to stay on with permission from our wonderful hosts as long as we can to answer questions. But right now, I'm just going to copy this link and I'm going to put it in the chat. So let me see if I do this correctly.
While you're putting that in the chat, Max, then we can answer some questions right now too.
Let's do it.
Brandy Davidson says she hates those mailers and the handbills that she gets from people asking to buy her house. So how do you or we overcome that and not leave a bad taste in people's mouths when you're sending things out to potential clients?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so I just hit enter. So hopefully y'all can see that. That's the link. Well, Max, how do we get a copy of the book? If you click that link, that's if you're like interested in doing this, you don't want your area to go away. And I'm going to answer the question, and then I'm going to put my email address in there too. And if you email us or you opt in, you'll see a link on our website. It'll direct you to our website. and you can get a copy of the book. So yes, the mailers, right? Fighting with the junk mail. Okay, here's how you do it. You have to stand out. You have to change your messaging. It has to not just be benefit statement, but it has to be something additional. So what I found is I got a lot of really, really friendly phone calls when I added that transitional call to action. So can you point somebody to a landing page, a website, something informational? Can you create a booklet? Is there something else that you can offer people besides just, come and tour our facility? Does that make sense? Did I answer that okay? Angie, let me know if I answered that correctly.
Yep, that was Brandy. So that was Brandy's question. I'll wait for her to answer. The next one we got those from Kristen. And she says she's opening an RAL in approximately 5 to 6 months. Do you think it's possible to fill all 12 rooms before we open with a waiting list?
100%. 100%. Now, of course, it depends on your effort. I mean, it doesn't just happen by magic, but that's the whole idea. I don't tell people what to do, even though I have the power to prescribe. It's not with everybody. What I want to tell everybody is this, exactly what you just said. Don't wait to start filling up your facility, especially when you're getting started. I mean, you're learning your area, you're learning your community. So is it possible to fill it all up? Sure. What's the percentage? I don't know. I do know that for everybody that you fill up on your own, that's saving a lot of money. And it's saving it two ways. It's the upfront cost, but then it's also building that repeatable system. What every business has in common that's successful is consistency. And so whatever recruiting source and methods you want to utilize, whether it's this book system, something you create, direct mail, Facebook ads, if you're getting results with it, do it consistently. But it's all about consistency, and consistency is not fun. So that's why most people don't do it. And when they don't get results, they get mad. Hope that answers your question.
I also thought this was a nice one. Tom says, you don't look that old. You were dating yourself earlier. And he's like, you don't look that old.
It's a little trick. Anytime somebody says that, it's usually because they already know that they don't look old, and that's why they say it. I roll my eyes every time. This lady in the mastermind that I'm in, she sent this picture on Facebook, and she's like, when you read all these psychology books, which I didn't read before real estate, it sort of like makes the world not fun because you just see everything so differently. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad to be hanging out with my baby sister. She just turned 40. And I was like rolling my eyes. I was like, oh gosh, here it comes. And everybody's like, wow, I can't believe it. I thought you were the baby sister. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. That's why she put that. So I was just playing around. I'm glad that you guys caught it. This is a smart crowd.
Well,
and I'm old at heart. Like, I listen to oldies, love Potion number 9. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm an old soul. I was hanging out with grandma, so I'm into older stuff too. But I turned 40 this year, and I looked a lot younger before I got into real estate. If y'all can still hear me, man, this is a hard business. I mean, I look good. I look like Molly. My face was all tight. Everything was good. Now I'm starting to look like an old raisin without a tan. At least I should have a tan. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. Any other questions? Are we done, Molly?
yep. Tom wants to know how does he find out which geo areas are already spoken for?
Just let me know. We can ask right now. Where do you live? I know most of them. I hope you don't tell me one that's already taken. I'll feel bad. Just put what it is.
He lives in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, good. You know what? That's not taken yet. I've been wanting somebody to call me from Boise.
Oh, wait, no, that's Kristen. I'm sorry. Kristen's in Boise, Idaho. So there you go. Tom has not answered yet. Aaron and Rick Peterson are in Nashville.
I don't think I have any. I had somebody contact me from Nashville, but I don't know if they've signed up yet. I think they're just getting their books. So that one's still okay.
And then Tom is in a bunch of different places. He's in Iowa, Minnesota, Kansas, and Missouri.
Okay, yeah. You just pick one of those. The way it works is like, we just don't want to have too many people in one area. And then another thing that we do, one person like can't take down all of New York City. It's just like not possible. Like there's two like things that we're trying to balance here. One is we're trying to give you like a lot of space so you can run with this program and have something no one else has. Because I never had that when I was just, like the question earlier, in the junk mail. Okay, but on the other side of it, like, we want you to be able to serve the seniors in the community. One person can't serve 13 million people. But like, we have one city, Richmond, that we have, I think 4 people there, and it's capped. We can't have any more. But what we're doing now with our new like fulfillment system is we're letting everybody who's in the same city, if it's a huge city, have like different titles and different covers, so that makes a huge difference. But some cities, there's only one person that's allowed. We have a lot of cities like that, and that's where we have a waiting list.
Aaron and Rick Peterson are asking how many copies come with each of the packages.
Okay, great question. 50 book and 25 workbook, and then just cost, that's like your starter pack. So like when you get it, you can start sending it out, and then you get a direct link where you can order. There's no upcharge, there's no credit card servicing fees, and then you just order them as you need them. So it's probably the most affordable. And if you look in, if you're new to book stuff, you'll find like a lot of them, that's the trick, is you have to buy like 1,000 copies of the book and all that. We're not doing any of that stuff. That's the difference.
Great. Okay, well, if anybody else has any questions, go ahead and send them through. I'm going to give you guys a couple of updates as far as the association goes. I'm sure many of you have gotten my emails or you've met me at the convention or however we've spoke before. But sorry, he mentioned staff. We're talking about staff. We're talking about retaining staff there at the end of this webinar. We have a new health share benefit that we've added as a premier benefit to our members. And that's a great way to retain staff, you guys. I've talked to so many people who own small assisted living homes, whether it be limited mental health or senior care, and they can't keep staff because they go to these bigger facilities for the benefits, right? Or whatever the reason is that they feel like they need to leave to go to a more commercialized job, right? Even though they might want to stay in the residential industry because it is a better environment. It's a better environment for the residents who live there, and it's a better environment for the staff. So anything you can do to help them. I've had people say, hey, we've gotten a $15 a month. It costs us $15 a month to give somebody a $100,000 life insurance plan, and they think that's amazing. They think that's great, but we have a health share benefit that you can give people for a couple $100s a month, and it provides them health benefits, at least something. I mean, it's probably not exactly the same. They do cover pre-existing conditions after a year, and it's way less expensive than anything I've been out there for. I've been self-employed a very long time, and I know how hard it can be to get health insurance. So it's a great benefit that we just added. And if you guys are looking to keep staff, then you need to look into it. So you can send me an email, you can reach out through the association contact form, however you want to talk about it. It's a great thing that we just added, and I want everyone to know about it. So if you're wanting to keep staff, that's the way to go. And then it doesn't look like we have any other questions. So thank you so much, Max. I appreciate this so much. And anybody who wasn't on, you guys are going to get this in your email. Everybody who was on, you're going to get it in your email as well. So look out for that email tomorrow. And everyone have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for coming.